move on and talk about Ethiopia, where I recently had, I think, what was it? Probably Conflicts of Interest 201 was Thedros Frinka Mariam, who is an Ethiopian who came on the show and answered my questions about Ethiopia. So if you want like a deeper dive on it, check out that show. But the Tigrayan forces, or the TPLF, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, had advanced pretty seriously into territory outside of Tigray, Ethiopia. And so they have made some battle success, but that has been turned back really since November, but throughout the month of December. And this has led to the Tigrayan forces announcing an official retreat out of all the territory that isn't Tigrayan in northern Ethiopia. And so it seems that the government had made some success. Now, this was portrayed by the Tigrayans as a move to open up the possibility for a ceasefire, although I'm somewhat skeptical, Connor, that the real purpose of this move was to that they were losing, and so by withdrawing a little bit when you had already lost, kind of creates a propaganda narrative to have demand the ceasefire or something like that. So the government, a couple days after that, said the fighting was still ongoing and that the Tigrayans hadn't pulled back. But then on December 24th, the Ethiopian government announced that they were stopping their advance and would not go further into Tigray. And so it does seem that they have reached a place in Ethiopia, at least over the past 10 days or so, where the fighting has somewhat subsided, at least on the ground level. It's a little bit more unclear to me how much of a drone war the Ethiopian government is waging, and that does seem to be what has turned the battle so far. This report for New York Times: foreign drones tipped the balance in Ethiopia's civil war. And this isn't just a hypothesis from the New York Times. If you listen to Horton's interview with the war nerd, he kind of lays out the impact that the drones were having in Ethiopia as well. And so this article lays out that it appears that Ethiopia has gotten drones from the UAE, Turkey, and Iran over the past few months, and these have helped to tip the balance of the war in Ethiopia's favor. In this article, I think they mentioned one particular strike that's believed to kill 18 civilians and injure a bunch of other civilians. But now a whole lot of reporting going on that in detail. That's really good, well researched. Same thing in general with the alleged war crimes in Ethiopia and stuff like that, Connor, where we have reporting saying it's happening, but not a lot of evidence, and who knows who's actually killing who and for what purposes. So a lot of question marks in Ethiopia, as always, while I'm trying to report on it. But it does seem that the Ethiopian army has pushed the TPLF back at least to Tigray, and for now that's created a lull or a pause in the ground fighting. Again, I can't and don't want to say much other than that and speculate. Last thing on Ethiopia is that Ethiopia, along with Mali and Guinea, were expelled from the African Growth and Opportunities Act. And this is a particular program that African countries could be involved in that allows them access to, I think, more tax-free goods from the U.S. And so this could apparently, according to this CNN article, cost the Ethiopian government like hundreds of millions of dollars in business a year. And so, even if the Ethiopian government is committing war crimes and things like that, Connor, it's not exactly clear to me that this would be, cutting off them out of this program is going to help the people of Ethiopia in any way. And so, and I do think the Ethiopian government, along with probably the Malayan government at least, is committing war crimes. So, yeah, they're kicked out of that program. And do you have anything else on Ethiopia, Connor?
No, but I mean, that's obviously they're clearly that's politically motivated, because obviously we've just been covering war crimes committed by U.S. allies, and obviously we have trying to increase business with those states.
Yeah, absolutely. And CNN kind of wrote that article bragging how it was their reporting that got Ethiopia kicked out of that program. And if you really want to do some good reporting, you get Saudi Arabia kicked out of some American arms sales for butchering journalists and slaughtering Yemeni children. But let's move on